Recent archaeological discoveries have revealed that comparatively advanced technological artifacts were found at Rakhi Garhi, an Indus Valley site. This might prove that the ancient Indian civilization began as early as 9,000 years ago. The civilization was first identified in 1921 at Harappa in the Punjab region, and yet again in 1922 at Mohenjo-daro near the Indus River in the Sindh region. 60 to 80% of the so-called Indus Valley civilization sites which have been discovered are not on the banks of the river Indus but along the course of the river Saraswati. On the basis of available contemporaneous scientific, geographic and historical evidence, it is only logical that we call it the Saraswati civilization. In 1778, James Rennell, a noted British geographer and cartographer, included in his memoir of a map of Hindustan or the Mughal Empire the most detailed map of India then available, and it showed Saraswati. A few years later, in 1855, French geographer Louis Vivien de Saint-Martin first pointed out specifically that Ghaggar River was the remnant of the Rig Vedic Saraswati River. The first Director General of Archaeological Survey of India, Alexander Cunningham's works included the monumental Ancient Geography of India, in which he combined data from ancient Indian and Greek texts along with testimonies of Chinese pilgrims to India, showing Saraswati River along with the other rivers in his maps in 1871. It has also been mentioned in historical texts and documentation by the colonial officers such as the 19th century British East India Company official James Todd, who extensively travelled across and surveyed Rajasthan. His notes seem to refer to Saraswati as the lost river of the desert. Dr. Michael Danino meticulously summed up the issues and debates associated with Saraswati and backed it up with research, satellite imagery, and archaeological evidences. Indus Valley civilization should thus be called Indus-Saraswati civilization.
The rishis, look at it from the point of view of the rishis. First of all, they list the rivers, Gange, Yamune, Saraswati, Shutudri, and so on, in the Nadistuti Sukta. Why should they place a river which is not there in front of them? Then there are certain very physical descriptions about Saraswati bouncing down the hills, the mountains, about its impetuous flow.
Findings in the Indus-Saraswati region date from as early as 7000 BCE up to 300 BCE. Over millennia, these communities developed and interacted with others, sharing skills and technologies such as pottery, metallurgy, town planning, and farming. Hence, by 2500 BCE, the region became the largest, if not the greatest civilization of the ancient world, expanding over 1 million square kilometers in its mature phase, with an estimated population of 5 million people. Early civilizations have been ranked in order of importance according to degrees of sophistication in the development and usage of script, agriculture, urbanization, architecture, and trade. By all these measures, the Indus-Saraswati civilization must be ranked amongst the most advanced. The Rig Veda, where the river Saraswati was first mentioned, deifies river. The deification continued in later Vedic and post-Vedic texts as well, making it an important part of Vedic culture and religion. It finds mention in 3 of the 4 Rig Veda books. The river Saraswati is mentioned 45 times in the Vedas and in dharmic texts such as Jaimanya Brahmana as well as the Mahabharata, which refers to the Saraswati drying up in a desert. Ancient human remains found in various sites of Indus Valley hardly yield intact DNA. The hot and humid conditions in these regions destroy any trace of DNA. To overcome this, Rach and a postdoctoral scientist, Vagish Narasimhan at Harvard, teamed up with Vasant Shinde from the Deccan College of Postgraduate and Research Institute in Pune. They painstakingly screened 61 skeletal samples excavated from graves in Rakhi Garhi and were eventually able to detect a very small amount of DNA in a single sample from a woman's remains. The ancient Harappan genome, sequenced and described in the journal Cell, was compared to the DNA of modern South Asians, revealing that the people of the Indic Valley civilization were the primary ancestors of most living Indians today. Ancestry like that in the IVC individuals is the primary ancestry source in South Asia today. Co-author David Emil Reich, a geneticist at the Harvard Medical School, said in a statement, "This finding ties people in South Asia today directly to the Indus Valley civilization." Professor Vasant Shinde, the lead author of the paper in the scientific journal Cell, September 5th, 2019, says, "The paper indicates that there was no Aryan invasion and no Aryan migration, and that all the developments right from the hunting-gathering stage to modern times in South Asia were done by indigenous people. Genetical research posits the roots of Sanatana Dharma lie in the Mehrghar and Saraswathi Sindhu civilizations. From this root came forth the tree with many branches and leaves, which is Sanatana Dharma." Inspired by the life and teachings of Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati, Aramvalarthanayagi Sevai Mayam works with the noble ideal of preserving Sanatana Dharma and passing it on to future generations, with emphasis on Hindu Kudumbam, Kudumbanala Velvi, Kovil Mayam, Kovil Konda Tamilagam, and Dharmathin Kural. Hari Om.